I do. You don't have to go to school with impertinent girls who laugh at your dresses, insult you when your nose isn't nice, and label your father if he isn't rich.
I think you mean libel.
Don't you? It's so boyish.
That's why I do it. You're quite old enough to leave off boyish tricks, Joe. Don't you remember? We're finally invited to a truly grown-up party. Mrs. Gardner would be very happy to see Miss March and Miss Josephine at a little party at her house December the 26th. If only I had a silk dress. Our dresses are close enough to silk, and I'm sure they're nice enough for us. Well, I've finished The Witch's Curse. Our play will be ready for tonight. I'm the villain now, remember? Help! Help! The ghosts, they torment me! The souls of the murdered, they haunt me! See, the demons gather!
Glad to find you so merry on this Christmas morning, my girl.
Marty!
But before we sit down for breakfast, I'd like to bring in someone to talk with you that I met. Just one moment.
Hello? I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to do. Mom's sick and there's no one in the house for my brothers and sisters.
Oh no, how many are in your family?
I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and Mom just had another baby girl. We live right down the road. When I saw your fire, I thought, well, maybe.
You mean you all live in that little shack?
Yes, I have to get back there. They're all crying.
Girls, would you give them your breakfast for Christmas presents for the family, please?
I'm so glad you came before we began. I'll help carry the things.
I suppose there is something romantic in spreading bounty among the less fortunate. We be like angels ministering to the little children.
Honey angels, it puts a mittens. Let's be off, girls. If only Meg had let me go talk to the young men about skating instead of standing around watching her dance. Now, if this were a skating party...
I say, do you like skating too?
Mr. Loomis, I didn't know anyone was in here. Shan't I disturb you?
Not a bit. I'm only here because I don't know anyone else at the party.
Neither do I. Though, I know you come to think of it. You live near us, don't you?
Next door, Miss March.
I'm not Miss March, Mr. Lawrence. I'm only Jill.
I'm not Mr. Lawrence. I'm only Lori.
Lori Lawrence. What an odd name.
My first name is Theodore, but I don't like it, for my friends call me Dora. So I made them say Lori instead.
I hate my name too. It's so sentimental. I wish everyone would say Joe instead of Josephine. How did you get the boys to stop calling you Dora?
I thrashed them.
Drat. I suppose I can't thrash Aunt March.
Would you like to dance, Miss Joe?
I like it well enough when there's plenty of room. Don't you dance?
Sometimes. You see, I've been abroad a good many years. I don't know many of the dances.
Abroad? Oh, tell me about it. Have you been to Paris? Can you speak French?
Yes, and we. I'd love to go back again.
I suppose you'll be going to college soon?
I suppose, but I'll hate it. Nothing but studying. I'd rather live in Italy and work on my music.
Are you a musician? Oh, that's a splendid polka. Why don't you go try it?
If you will come too, there's plenty of room here.
Oh, Joe, I twisted my ankle. I knew you'd hurt yourself with those ridiculous high heels. I don't know what you can do except stay here all night with my carriage.
Will you allow me to take you two home? I was poorly, I do truly.
Oh, we couldn't possibly refuse such a generous offer from a neighbor. Come on, Nick. All right. Thank you very much, Mr.
Lori.
Lori.
Father, could I stop here for a bit?
Of course. Are you running away from something?
Not exactly something. What have you been up to, Miss Jo? Done any more skating?
No. I wish you'd come over and we could skate together. Wouldn't your grandfather let you?
I think he would if your mother asked him, but he's not going to think of it himself. He's too buried in his books. Mr. Brooke, my tutor, doesn't stay here, you know. So once he leaves, it's just me and Grandfather.
Why don't you come over now?
I would, but, well, my lessons with Brooke didn't go very well yesterday, and my grandfather is in one of his moods.
Well then, you'd better go and pace him before it gets any worse. I know I would, for I'm not afraid of anything.
I don't believe you are. But then you haven't seen my grandfather in one of his moods.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen him. Do you happen to have a picture?
Oh, yes, right here.
Well, I'm sure now that I shouldn't be afraid of him, for he's got kind eyes, though his mouth is rather grim. He looks as if he had a tremendous will of his own. He isn't as handsome as my grandfather, but I like him.
Thank you, madam. So you're not afraid of me, hey, young lady?
Not much, sir.
And you don't think me as handsome as your grandfather?
Not quite, sir.
And I've got a tremendous will, have I?
I only said I thought so, sir.
But you like me in spite of it.
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Lawrence, at your service.
Joe March, sir.
So, you've got your grandfather's spirit. He was a fine man, my dear. But more importantly, he was a brave and honest man, and I was proud to be his friend.
Thank you, sir.
So you think my grandson needs a little cheering up a bit, do you, and encouragement?
Yes, sir. It's just that he seems rather lonely, and young folks might do him good. And we'd love to hear him play, for Beth does love music of any kind.
Yes, his music isn't bad, but I hope he will do as well on more important things. It's time for our tea now, and we must go. Much obliged, and I'm sure we'll see each other again when my grandson comes over. Give my respects to your mother. Good afternoon, Miss Jo.
Good afternoon. Did I say something wrong?
Oh, no, it was me. He doesn't like to hear about my music.
Why not?
It was my mother. She was an Italian, a musician. He never quite approved of that. My parents both died when I was little, and Grandfather took me in. He thinks I may want to be a musician someday.
Do you?
More than anything. Can I come over again?
Of course. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait till I tell the girls in Army.
Hello, girls. Just wait till you hear what jolly thing I'm playing.
Is it another play? I don't mean to act anymore after this time. I'm getting far too old for such things.
But you're the best actress we've got, and they'll be an end of everything if you quit.
Never fear, madame. I'm after an audience member, not a performer. You remember the new fantasy play, The Seven Castles? I boodled Brooke into going, and you two shall come along as well. Brooke is out getting the tickets, and he'll stop by later today.
Oh, I wanted to see that play. Do you think Margaret will mind if we go?
Not a bit. I heard her tell Amy she could go if she had enough pocket money. Margaret won't mind if we're with Brooke, for he's as steady as the day is long. And boring.
It's dull as tombs over at my house, Joe. What do you say to coming over and larking about? You must have finished your book by now.
Not even close. I've been working on it for as long as Father's been gone, and it's almost exactly where I want it, but there, I've come to a stopping point, and I have plenty of time for any amount of larks. Beg dear, I'll be back in time to get ready for this evening.
Mind you don't romp too much, Joe. And really, you shouldn't say larking about. It's such dreadful slang.
Oh dear, let us be proper or we die. I plan to have a splendid time, whether it's larking or nightingale. We'll be back.
Hello, Meg. Where did those two head off to?
On to Laurie's house, probably to ride his horses or some such lark thing.
Marty, Laurie asked if we could go along to the Seven Castles with him and Mr. Brooke this evening. Is it all right?
Yes, dear. I know Amy wanted to go as well, but she's still not doing well with that cold, and I think she should stay home and rest a little bit. I'll take her next week with Beth when she's feeling better. I'll go tell Beth.
Good afternoon, Miss March.
Young Mr. Lawrence asked me to deliver these tickets for you and your sister. Miss Josephine and Mr. Lawrence were galloping down the street as I passed, so I thought it best to deliver them here.
Oh dear. I do apologize for my sister's behavior.
No need. I often like to walk outside myself.
I know. I often see you when I go out in the mornings. I thought I heard you singing in German one morning. Are you teaching it to Lori?
Yes, I am. I've known it since I was a child. Do you speak German?
Well, a little bit. My father was teaching me, but he's away in the war, and I don't get on very fast by myself. I have no one to correct my pronunciation.
Miss March, if you're still interested in learning German, I often have the afternoons off. I can help you look over any books you have.
Oh, thank you. That would be lovely. I have some here right now, if you wouldn't mind. I do wish I liked teaching as you do. I'm the governess with 3 children, and it can be somewhat trying.
I think you would like teaching if you had Lori for a student. I'll be very sad when he goes to college next year. As soon as he is off, I will turn soldier.
Well, I'm glad of that. I think every young man will let you go. But it is hard when mothers and sisters left behind.
Well, I have neither, so I think it'll be all right.
Well, I know Lori and his grandfather would be very sorry to see you go. And we would all be very sad if anything happened to you.
Thank you.
Of course. Excuse me.
Miss Margaret March?
Mr. Ned Moffat? Annie!
Meg! Oh, I can't believe it's you. And I didn't know you lived in such a tiny little house. I mean, it's rather like a doll's house, isn't it? Where would you keep all your dresses?
Oh, you know, I find space somewhere. It's lovely to see you, Annie. I haven't seen either of you since the last party.
Oh yes, the gardener's party. You were the one with the distracting little bone, weren't you? You're still looking well, I see.
Well, we come with good tidings in your little life. My mother has agreed that I may invite you for a week-long visit. And just think, you'll see so much of me. And my sister Belle knows simply everything about French fashions, and Sally.
And of course, the man standing before you, and sadly forgotten brother. If only for that reason, I beg of you to accept your invitation.
Oh, truly? I already asked Marmy when you first talked to me about it at Christmas, and she said I can go.
Oh, yes, yes, how wonderful.
Your delight is our delight, Miss Meg. And no matter how many distracting little bells are passed before my eyes, I will not forget your face. Oh, I do beg pardon. Is this your uncle?
Oh, no, this is Mr. John Brooke, young Mr. Lawrence's tutor and a friend of our family.
Your servant, sir. Madam.
How funny, a tutor over for tea, perhaps.
Well, we must be off. We have other charming visits to make. Farewell, Meg.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, darling.
Kiss, kiss. Bye. I can't believe Annie remembered. I have to tell Marmy. Did you want to talk to my mother?
Oh, no indeed, Miss March. I just came to deliver the tickets. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. I look forward to our visit to the theater.
Theater? What theater?
Oh, that's
Never mind, Amy. Little girls shouldn't ask questions. Besides, you've got other problems.
Oh, Joe, I wanted to play that piano at Lori's house like you and him suggested. But when I went over there to play and knocked on the door, who should open it up but Mr. Lawrence? All he did was look at me and say, "Hey," with the most hideous look on his face. Before I knew it, I was flying back over here. I can't go there again. I can't.
Oh, Beth, the old gentleman isn't so bad. Lori and I will fix this soon enough. I'll talk to him about it tonight when Meg and I... Never mind.
Oh, Meg, do tell me where you're going. You're going somewhere with Lori. You were laughing and talking on the couch together last night and stopped when I came in. You're going with him, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Now stop bothering us.
I know. Going to the theater to see the Seven Castles. But I can go because Mother said I could, and I had no Papa would say no. It was me not to tell me in time.
Amy, listen. Marvin doesn't want you to go this week because you're still not well enough from your cold. Next week, you can go back and have a nice time.
I won't like the half as well as when we were you two and Lori. I never do anything you get to do. Please.
I suppose we could take her.
I shan't. And if I don't, Lori won't like it. And it would be very rude after Lori invited only us to go and drag Amy in.
I shall go. Meg says I may, and if I pay for myself, Lori hasn't anything to do with it.
You can't get tickets with us, and you can't sit by yourself, so Lori will give up his seat, and that will spoil all of our fun. So you need to stay where you are.
I say, Joe, the carriage is here. Did Brooke drop off the tickets already?
Yes, he did. We'll be along in a few minutes. Amy, you really must dash. Please go talk to Marmee.
I won't. I want to go with you, please.
Amy, stop being an infant. I should think she'd hate to throw herself in where she doesn't want it. Why did I go Amy?
You'll be sorry for this, Joe March.
Fiddlesticks!
Come along, Amy, dear. You and I will have a wonderful time in the theater next week. Oh, you're just glad you're going to go tonight and talk to someone outside your family. Joe never lets me do anything she has to do. They'll see I'm not some little child. See if they don't. Amy!
You should go over to play again.
You should.
Can't.
I wish I was going to Annie's to have a fine time and all those nice things. You look simply ravenous in that dress, Meg.
Well, thank you, but I do hope you mean ravishing and not hungry. Oh dear. I do believe I would be perfectly happy if I ever had a silk dress to wear one of these parties.
Meg, you said the other day you'd be perfectly happy if you could only go to Annie's office.
You're right. I did. Well, I am happy. I worked hard all year and it's time for a bit of fun. Marmee, do you suppose I could borrow a pair of your gloves? I lost one of mine at the theater, and Joe offered to lend me hers, but they're so terribly stained. I know she means well.
Yes, my dear, I'll get it.
Has anyone taken my book?
No.
Amy, you've got it.
No, I haven't.
You know where it is then.
No, I don't.
You know something about it, and you better tell me or I'll make you.
Scold's much like you'll never see your silly little book again.
Why not?
I burnt it.
What? My little book? Have you really burnt it?
Yes, I told you I'd make you pay for being cross yesterday, and I have. So,
You beast! You wicked little I never should write it again. I'll never forgive you as long as I live. Josephine March! What on earth? Don't defend that creature. Don't talk to me about her. I'll never speak to her again. Oh, Amy burnt Joe's book because Joe was cross with her yesterday.
Amy, you truly burnt Joe's book?
yes. But I don't know why everyone's looking at me as if I've killed something. I just wanted to be noticed. She's got other copies.
How she knows it, Amy? She showed me yesterday. That was the last copy that she had.
Oh, no, not really. No, I'm sorry.
Amy, you need to tell Joe that before anything else happens.
Joe, I really am sorry. Please forgive me.
I'll never forgive you. You don't deserve it.
Well, I like that after I apologized.
Amy, Joe is working on her temper. It was a terrible thing to do to her. Let's go upstairs and help Meg finish packing, and we'll discuss this.
Round 7 with Joe March. What's the matter, old fella?
Nothing. Just my life's work has been destroyed by that sister of mine.
What, did Meg use it for packing paper for a trip to high society?
Don't joke now, Teddy. I can't bear it. 3 years of work wasted because Amy had to be selfish.
What did she do, Joe?
She was angry because I wouldn't take her to the theater, so she burnt my book. Be glad you never had sisters.
Well, I do now. There's nothing we can do to bring it back, but what if we go out and forget about it? I know, I can take you to see the other fellows play ice hockey. If we bundle you up well enough, and you put on my long coat, I'll tell them that you're my friend for the next time over, and they'll let you play.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Teddy. I'll go get my things.
Joe. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Joe was in here.
No, you don't have to go, Beth. I'll be off in a minute. told me you love music.
I thought about it, but I really didn't want to intrude.
Not a bit. The old fellow isn't even around today, and he told me to tell you that the house is empty, as empty can be around this time of day. It would be the perfect time for someone to be playing that old piano, so it doesn't turn into a heap of dusty wood before it's time. You will go, won't you?
I might. Thank you, Lord.
Have a lovely time, Betsy. Did your grandfather really tell you to talk to her?
Yes, he was afraid that he'd scared her off, and he wanted to make up to her.
Well, I'll approve anyone who looks after my Betsy. I'm ready, Teddy. Let's go.
Joe, I really am sorry.
Let's be off. It's getting dark.
Joe, dear, please don't let the sun go down on your anger. Forgive each other, help each other, and begin again tomorrow.
It was a dreadful thing to do. She doesn't deserve to be forgiven.
Well, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I wish I'd never done it. It's not always good to be the center of attention when everyone hates you.
We all love you, my dear. But Joe's very angry, and it's hard for her to forget what you did. Let's go upstairs and finish packing before Meg leaves.
Hello, girls. So is Meg still off to see the Queen?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And don't forget that you're going to the final ball this weekend. I'll never forgive you if you don't go there and make Meg the center of everyone's attention.
Never fear, madame. I'll bring the Prince of England out to dance with her if you allow me to. But while His Majesty is on his way, what do you say to a bit of ice skating in the pond behind the house? It's the last we'll have this winter. And after the game we had with the other fellows, I want to see if you can still beat me.
Joe, it's been almost 2 weeks, and you promised the next time we went ice skating I could come. Can I?
I'll get my things. Stop driving me into it. There's nothing else to stop us.
There. She promised next time she went skating I could come. How cross can she still be after 2 weeks?
Well, she's worked very hard on that little book. It's very precious to her. But I think she's building up time, and maybe she's ready to forgive. So if you take a quiet moment, do some kind thing, and go after them, I'm sure Jo will be friends with all of her heart.
I'll try.
And Amy, don't forget, you need to listen to Jo. The weather's getting warm now, and there are thin spots of ice. She'll know where that's at.
Of course, I will.
Hello, Beth. Where were you just now? Off down to see that poor family, or playing piano at the Lawrences?
Playing piano? Oh, Marty, if only you could play too. Our piano never sounded like theirs does. I do want to thank Mr. Lawrence for letting me play. I had a song for him. I thought maybe you could give it to him as a thank you. I copied one over last night. Could you give it to him? I'm afraid I'm still too shy to speak with him.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you would appreciate your gift, Beth. He loves to hear you play. It reminds him of his first daughter, the child that was taken for him when she wasn't much older than you.
Oh no, not really.
Yes, that's why I was so proud of you that you found the courage to go over and speak with him.
Marty! Beth, she fell in! She fell in and it's not my fault! I didn't call her back. I didn't care. And she fell in!
Where is she? Where's Amy?
Laurie saved her. He pulled her out of the pond.
I'll put your bed fire, darling.
I'll stop with the fire.
Amy, are you all right?
Yes, just cold and wet.
But you changed right away and out of these things. Oh, Lori, we have to get you home too. You'll catch a cold. Thank you so much.
Not here. Anyone could have done it. I'll just go off now, as long as our patient is on the mend.
Beth, can you take her upstairs and get her changed right away and then come back down again?
Are you sure she's all right?
Yes. She's not hurt. And I don't even think she'll catch a cold. You were so sensible keeping her wrapped up and bringing her home so quickly.
Laurie did it all, Mother. I only let her go. Mother, if
and never think it's too late to try to conquer your faults.
You don't know, you can't guess how awful it is. I feel as if I could do anything when I'm angry. I'm afraid I should do something dreadful someday and spoil my life and make everyone hate me.
We all have our temptations, dear, and it can take us all of our lives to try to conquer them. You think yours is the worst temper in the world, but mine was just like yours.
Yours, Mother? You're never angry.
I've been trying to cure it for over 40 years, and I've only managed to try to control it. I'm angry nearly every day of my life, Joe, but I'm learning not to show it all of the time, and I'm hoping I can learn not to feel it, but that may take me another 40 years to do that. The only way to do that is through the strength and the tenderness of our Heavenly Father, for His love and caring never tire or change, and His patience is endless.
I let the sun go down in my anger. I wouldn't forgive Amy, and today, if it hadn't been for Lori, it might have been too late.
It is that you come to our little party tonight, Mr. Theodore. You know, Daisy has been crazy all week to see you, and I'm sure you have been too. Now don't deny it. I know how you young men are.
It's Daisy.
No need. There's no need to be that way. And I'm sure Annie has a big surprise for you. You won't know Daisy when she is finished with her.
Won't know her. I don't think I even do know her.
Yeah. What's keeping the girls? And they did. They should be here getting ready to dance already. Well, you know, I've got this in the other room that I've got to tend to, so I'll talk to you later.
This has to be the wrong house. No, that is correct. So this is Meg's party, but who on earth is Daisy?
Daisy, you must come out. I told you you'd be such a beauty if you really got up in style. Come out, please. I want the whole party to see my little doll.
Annie, come quick. Mrs. Harrison has found the punch bowl. I don't know how to get the stain out.
Oh, well, good evening, Daisy. So this is Annie Moffat's too.
Lori, how good to see you. I was afraid you wouldn't come. My old dress tore after the last party, and instead of mending it, the girls dressed me up for fun, and I rather like it. Wouldn't Jo stare if she saw me?
Yes, I think she would. You look so grown up and unlike yourself. I'm quite afraid of you.
How absurd of you. Don't you like it?
No, I don't.
Oh. Well, I know it's not like the dresses I usually wear, but why shouldn't I be like all the other girls?
I never thought you wanted to be Annie Moffat's little doll, Meg.
Why, you're the rudest boy I ever saw. I don't need anyone's permission to have a lovely time. I will have one.
Miss Meg, is it? I thought you were one of the lovely ladies from France. Come to visit our party.
Oh, Ned, you do flatter so dreadfully. You can't mean half of what you say.
True, but ask yourself which half I really mean.
Ned, Daisy, you simply must try some of Mother's punch. She only brings it out for parties with the grown-up ladies and gentlemen, and I can assure you it makes conversing with people so much easier.
It's not quite strong enough for my taste, but quite good. Miss Meg?
Not quite strong enough.
You'll have a splitting headache tomorrow if you drink much of that. I wouldn't, Meg. Your mother doesn't like it, you know.
To the beauty of the night, standing here in front of you.
Mr. Ned Moffat, I believe I promised you several dances. Since there's no one about but children, I know you won't mind taking them now.
Meg, I just mean...
I'm not Meg tonight. I'm a doll who does all sorts of crazy things. Tomorrow I shall cut off my fuss and feathers and be desperately good again.
Miss Morrow was here then.
Mother, I just got back to my apartment and I can't find the story I was working on yesterday. You seen it?
Oh, I've got it. Oh, I've got it, Joe. I saw it sitting with Beth's cat. It's her wings thing all over it, so I put it in your desk.
Where in the desk? Come show me. Come on, then.
Margie, yes, dear.
Did you ever deliver my song to Mr. Lawrence?
Oh, I gave it to him last week. I know he loved it, but he's very busy right now, so it may take him some time to get back to us.
Okay. Come along, Teddy. We have business to attend to.
Oh, yes. Business.
Come on,
Goodbye,
Beth.
girls. Goodbye, my mother.
Come along, Beth. It's our turn to help make supper, but I must tell you now, I can't do this. It makes my joy and hand approach tired. Yeah, too bad.
Hello, Meg. You're back earlier than we expected. How was your visit to the Moffats?
Well, it was very lovely in many parts. But it does seem pleasant to be back. Home is a nice place if it isn't splendid. You haven't found my missing love, have you?
No, dear, I haven't. I'm sorry. But I'm happy and glad to be back. I would have thought that with all those fine, beautiful homes, you may not wish to come back home again.
Oh, no. I felt quite lonely for our house and all of you, of course. Marmee, I wanted to fess up about something that happened at the Moffat's house.
What is it, my dear?
Well, I know Lori told you that they dressed me up, but he didn't tell you that they made me over completely. Lori thought I wasn't proper. He said I was like Annie's little doll. I really was. But they flattered me and said I was a beauty. So I just let them make a fool of me. I drank their punch and romped and tried to flirt. And just acted terribly silly. I'm sorry, Marmee. I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. I didn't even enjoy the party at all. Lori can tell you that. He knew I regretted it. I don't like to think that I behaved like that. But it was nice to be praised and admired. I can't help saying I like that part of it.
It's perfectly natural to want to be admired, and it's quite harmless as long as you remember that it isn't important what others think of you, but to remember that God made you, and He loves you. But there's something else, I think.
Well, yes, it's very silly, but I think that Mrs. Moffat is saying that you're hoping that Lori will marry one of us girls, and that's why we're so kind to him. Mother, do you have plans for us?
Oh, of course I have plans for you, as most mothers do. But I wouldn't want you to marry a rich man merely because he's rich. I would much rather have you marry a poor person and be happy, contented, and loved than to be a queen on a throne.
Thank you, Marmee. I'm so happy to be back. Oh, okay.
Thank you, dear.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies. I was wondering if Miss Elizabeth March is in today.
Yes, she's in the kitchen. I will get her. Beth, Amy, come in, please.
Madam, I was very honored when your mother shared your beautiful song with me. I don't play the piano myself, but Lori did the honors, and I must say that I love it more than any gift I've ever been given. pay my debts so that I know that you will allow this old gentleman to give you something that once belonged to the little daughter that I lost. I simply can't accept your song unless I know you have something on which to play it.
For me? Yes, Mr. Lawrence met us on our way out and asked if we were helping the fun. Isn't it splendid of him?
Oh, Beth. Oh, we all want to hear you play on it, please.
It's wonderful. I'd love to play for you. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Get a song.
You shan't see it until I'm taking it home to show Mommy and the girls. That's final. That's foul, boy. Torment me no more.
Come on, Joe. You know I won't let you alone until I see it. Come now. I have a secret. So if I tell you my secret, then you have to tell me yours.
Is your secret a nice one?
Oh, isn't it? All about people you know and such fun. You ought to hear it. And I've been dying to tell it to you. Come, you begin.
Oh, all right.
The Rival Painters by Miss Josephine March. Hurrah for Miss March, the celebrated American authoress! I knew when we dropped this story off the other week, they'd snatch up in a heartbeat. How much did you get for it?
$5. It seems like such a lot for my rubbish, but it's one step closer to becoming a famous author. Now, what's your secret? Fess up.
Well then, I know where Meg's missing clothes.
That is? Where is it?
In Mr. John Brooks' pocket.
How do you know?
Saw it? Isn't that romantic?
It's ridiculous. It won't be allowed. My patience, what would Meg say?
I bet Mr. John Brooke would be dying to know that as well. Come now, I'd like to be pleased.
At the idea of anyone coming to take Meg away, I should think not.
You'll feel different about it when someone comes to take you away.
I'd like to see anyone try it.
So should I.
Joe, I hope that you're not taking Laurie away from his lessons again. I saw John Brooke walking by just now. He looked terribly sad. I can always tell you've been plaguing his life out during lessons.
Well, I like that. So you keep an account of my good and bad grades in John Brooks' face, do you? I see him bow and smile as he passed your window, but I didn't know you went and got a telegraph system. Interesting.
We haven't. Don't tell him I said anything.
Oh, of course not. But I will tell you in confidence that it wasn't any dreadful work on my part that's changed his mood. It's the anniversary of his mother's passing today, and grandfather gave him the day off. I suppose you've heard about his family. He was the only one left to take care of his mother, and he almost couldn't find any kind of work for her because he couldn't leave her. Grandfather hired him on as my tutor as soon as he heard about that. If ever I do get my wish, you'll see what I'll do for Mr. Brooke. Make him a partner in the business. I'm sure he'd be wonderful for someone's partner.
Really, Joe? When will you learn to behave?
Don't try to make me grow up before my time, Meg. It's hard enough to have you change all of a sudden. Let me be a little girl as long as I can. Where have you been calling today?
At the Moffat's house, and Annie was telling me all about Belle's wedding. It was very splendid, and they've gone to spend the winter in Paris.
Do you envy her, Meg?
I'm afraid I do.
I'm glad of it.
Why?
For if you care much about riches, Come on, I have something to show you the girls.
Won't some of you come for a drive? Brooke has been making me study hard all day long. I'll hold up Joe outside and see if she wants to come along as well.
Thank you, Lori. I'd love to go. Me too.
Anything I can do for you, Mother?
Yes, if you would check at the post office if you're going by that way, dear. We usually get a letter from Father, but there wasn't one this morning. Perhaps there's some delay.
Hello, girls. Hello, Marmy. I'm sorry, Teddy. Telegram for you, Mother. I think it's from the hospital you work at.
Why would they send a telegram? Oh, girls! Your father!
Mrs. March, your husband is very ill. Come at once, SCL Washington Hospital.
I must go. I must go at once. What if it's too late?
I won't waste any time crying. Go get your things ready at once.
Now, Joe, make room for everything is. Let her do it. Let me think. Girls. Where's Lori?
Here, ma'am. Let me do something. The horses are ready. I can go anywhere, do anything.
I need to send a telegram. Tell them I will be on the next train, which leaves at 6 o'clock. And here, take this note, please, from Aunt March. Now hurry.
Mother, you asked that old dragon for money? Her rheumatism's been bad today. She's sure to refuse.
I didn't have a choice, Joe. I don't even have $5 in my purse. And I don't even think Aunt March will refuse on a time like this.
You've got more faith in her than I do, then. She always croaks if you ask for a ninepence. Mother, hadn't I better call the hospital and let them know you won't be there tomorrow?
Yes, thank you, Joe. I had completely forgotten. In here, could you take this list and get these items at the drugstore, please? Girls, help me pack upstairs, please.
I'm very sorry to hear of this. Mr. Lawrence has work for me in Washington, and I would be happy to escort your mother to the hospital there.
Oh, how kind you are. I'm so happy to still have someone there to take care of her. Thank you so much. Do you want to speak to my mother?
I won't trouble her now, but we'll be back with the sleigh soon. Goodbye.
Here's your tea, Marmy dear.
Thank you. Where's Lori? Has he come back from Aunt March's yet?
No, he hasn't. But Mr. Brooke just stopped by. He said that Mr. Lawrence has business for him in Washington, and he can go along and be your escort on the train. I'm so happy you don't have to be alone.
Something's up, ma'am. She growled like a lion, but your Aunt March gave me that envelope and a lot of bad advice that I won't pass on. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, thank you, Lori. I'll call you if we need anything else. Well, not much, but it will have to do. Where's Joe? She should have been back a long time ago.
Well, there's my contribution toward making Father comfortable and bringing him home.
$25? Joe, you haven't done anything rash, have you?
No, it's mine, honestly. I didn't beg, borrow, or steal it. I only sold what was my own.
Your hair! Your beautiful hair!
Oh, Joe, how did you cut it?
You're one beauty.
Oh, it doesn't look like my Joe anymore. I'm not forgiving for it. It doesn't affect the fate of the nation, so don't wail about it. It will be good for my vanity. I was getting quite proud of my lot. I'm satisfied with the results.
What made you do it?
Well, I was wild to do something for Father, and I'd have sold the nose off my face if anyone would have bought it. I saw some hair marked $40, not nearly as thick as mine, so I went in and asked what they would give me for it.
Already? Are you trying to make a porcupine of yourself? You look like...
Time to go, madam. The sleigh is here.
Hope you keep busy. Remember, you can never be fatherless.
Don't worry about us, Marty. We'll be all right. Bye. What's the matter, Joe? Are you crying about father?
No, not now.
What then?
It's my hair.
Miss Beth, it's my little sister.
What's wrong?
It's so cold outside, you're frozen and she won't stop coughing.
She's still coughing? Oh no, Joe said she would go over sometime, but I suppose she's still writing and Meg was sewing. Did you send for a doctor?
You don't have any money. And I prayed for someone to come. Mother said it's right here, that your mother was always here to help. Will you come today, please?
Well, of course. You're only right down the road.
Dear Marty, I can't tell you how happy your last letter made us. For the news was so good, we couldn't help laughing and crying over it. How very kind Mr. Brooke is, and how fortunate it is that his business detains him near you so long, since he's so useful to you and father. Although it's been a month since you left, the girls are all still as good as gold. Give my dearest love to father, and warm regards to Mr. Brooke. Ever your own, May.
Meg, can you see Beth? I wanted to see if she had a letter from father and mother before we sent ours off. Is she over at the Hummels house again?
I'm afraid she is. I know Mother told us we had to look after that poor family while she was gone. But really, I've had so much to do running the household, I haven't had an evening when I can go over. I know she's been over more than any of us. Joe, I really think your short hair suits you. And it's growing out of it already.
Much obliged. Thanks for lying. I know I still look like a porcupine, as Lori never tires of telling me.
But a very cute porcupine. Just ask Beth.
Beth? Christopher, look! What's the matter? You've had the scarlet fever before, haven't you? Years ago when Meg did. Why? I don't know. Oh, Joe, it's the Hummels baby. It's dead. Oh, my poor dear. I should have gone. How dreadful for you. It wasn't dreadful, Joe. It was so sad. I stayed until the doctor came and he told me to come straight home or I'd have the fever. I've been over there so much, but I didn't know of the scarlet fever. Oh, Beth, if you should be sick, I'll never forgive myself. What will we do? So strange. If only Marty were at home. She would know. Don't let Amy near. She's never had it before.
We'll send Amy to Aunt March's house for a few days, and you and I can stay home and take care of Beth. I'll tell Amy.
Hello, Joe. What's the matter with Beth?
It's scarlet fever, Lori. Have you had it before?
Yes, when I was younger. Do you need anything?
We really should have a doctor to look at Beth. Can you send for one?
Of course. Anything else?
No, never make me go. I'd rather have the fever than go to Aunt March's.
Amy, we can't have two of you sit while Marmy's away, please. Let's just go.
Now be a sensible little woman and do as they say. You go to Aunt March's and I'll take you out, driving or walking. We'll have capital times.
Will you really come every day just to see me? Okay, I'll go.
Thank you, Teddy. Come along, Beth.
Shall I telegraph your mother, Meg?
No, Lori, I'll write to her, but Beth shouldn't be in any danger. I help the children that I watch through scarlet fever, and Joe knows what she's doing. If you could just take Amy to Aunt March's house and then send for a doctor.
Of course. Come along, Miss Amy. We'll be back before you know it. Joe. Mr. March is on the mend again. How's Beth? The doctor said that it should be over by now. It's been 2 weeks. What's the matter?
I sent for Mother. The doctor told us to.
Oh, Joe, it's not so bad as that.
It is. She doesn't know us anymore. She doesn't even talk. She doesn't look like my Beth, and there's no one to help us bear it. Mother and Father are both gone. God seems so far away, I can't find him.
Hold on to me, Joe. Keep praying and hoping for the best. God's right here. He always has been.
You're all right, Penny. You're always a great comfort to me. You're a good doctor.
Even better than you know. I telegraphed your mother yesterday, and Brooke answered that she'd come at once, and she'll be here tonight. Everything's gonna be all right. Aren't you glad I did it?
Oh, Teddy! Oh, Mother! Oh, bless you! I'll go tell Meg. The doctor said we should see some sort of change by midnight. I wish Mother were here already. If God spares Beth, I will never complain again. If God spares Beth, I'll try to love him and serve him all my life, even more than before. I can't believe it's almost Christmas again. And last year we were all upset because we didn't have any presents. Beth? No, Beth. Oh, Harvey! Harvey, look at Beth. The shoes.
The fever's broken. Her skin is cool. And she's breathing easy. Thank you, Lord. And girls, we have one more miracle yet to come.
Here's another Christmas present for the March family. Merry Christmas, my parents.
Mother! Just a year ago, we were groaning about what a dismal Christmas we were going to have. Do you remember?
I think it's been a rather pleasant year on the whole.
I think it's been pretty hard, but having only oneself for company isn't very pleasant for long.
Yes, but we have you back now, Father.
Rather a rough road for you to travel, girls, especially the later part of it. But you have gotten on so bravely, and I am so happy to see the wonderful changes in my little women.
Merry Christmas, all. We wanted to come by and see how our patients were doing.
Very well indeed, thank you.
Lori, John, please come in. It's lovely to see you both again.
Thank you, Mrs. March. Good afternoon, Mr. March. Ladies.
We're about to go in for tea. Would you join us? Lori, you can help Beth along.
Of course. Come along, Queen Beth.
Murphy? You call that man John?
Yes, we started calling him John at the hospital when he was helping Father so much.
I wrote to you about him stealing Meg's glove, and you said we'd wait to see what would happen. But I can see the way he looks at her, and Meg won't put a stop to it.
Do you think she cares for John?
Mercy me! I don't know anything about love and such nonsense. I would think you'd see right through him, going and being kind to Father, so you would let him marry Meg, if she wants to marry him.
Joe, don't be angry. John was very honest and open about his feelings with Meg, and we agreed that nothing could be said until Father was all the way better. They did right to one another. But she is a grown woman now, Joe, and there's nothing we can do to change that.
I knew there was mischief brewing. I felt it. And now it's worse than I imagined. Why weren't we all boys? There wouldn't be any problem.
Boys get married too, Joe. I know John, and he has some
Do you
flaws.
call
But your mother was wondering if Miss Joe knew where the serving dishes were.
I'll go get them. I'm sure Meg can help you with anything you need. I'll see if she needs help.
Don't go, Meg. Are you afraid of me?
Oh no. How could I be when you've been so kind to Father? And all those letters you sent me. I don't know how I would have gotten through without the news from you. And Marvin. I only wish I could thank you for it.
It was no trouble. I was happy to do it. I've often missed having a family of my own, so I'm honored to have been a part of yours for a little bit.
You still are. I know Father and Mother think the world of you.
And you, Meg?
Me?
I won't trouble you. I only want to know if you care for me a little bit. I love you so much, dear.
I don't know.
Won't you try and find out? I'd really like to know.
Merry Christmas, Daisy! Haven't seen you lately.
And me, bless me, what is all this?
Oh dear, John.
I'll make the study.
Thank you.
Who the
Good
devil was that?
afternoon. How are you?
Who the devil was that?
You remember that's Mr. John Brooke, Laurie's tutor and a friend of Mother and Father's, and mine.
Well, if that's all, he's a bit funny looking, isn't he? I haven't seen him around at any of our parties.
He's not usually at any, no. And I haven't been either, not since the last one.
Oh yes, last Christmas. Well, I was bored and wanted to see how you're doing. She only left me in the lurch. The New Year's dance, and I knew you'd be interested.
Actually, I'd rather not go along to the dance, thank you. My father's just returned home and my sister is finally well.
Oh yes, he'd gone to the front or something, hadn't he?
Well, that shouldn't stop you from coming along to the party. Unless, of course, you'd rather hang out with that Brooke. Stick with him and you shan't be at many parties for long.
Or as the church mouse would know. Did you see those boots?
Well, perhaps boots are the most important thing in your life. But I respect John for wanting to help people instead of himself. I do respect him a great deal.
What's this? Daisy? You're not engaged to him. Oh, you'll be sorry for it by and by when you've tried love in a cottage and found it a failure.
Well, it can't be any worse than some people find in large houses. I couldn't do better if I waited half my life. I'm so proud to think that my John cares for me.
Well, it looks as if we won't be seeing you around anymore, Daisy. Should I say Mrs. Brooke?
My Daisy Mary Hopper. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I think I have my answer now, Meg. Thank you. Are you willing to wait and work together? It may be a long wait, but I promise I'll be there for you every step of our way.
Yes, John, I will. Meg, Mother was wondering...
Sister Joe, congratulate us.
Oh, do somebody quick! John Brooke is acting dreadfully and Meg likes it!
Mr. March, Mrs. March, your daughter has agreed to become my wife.
Congratulations. There's no one else I would trust my Meg with.
You don't look festive, man. What's the matter?
You can't know how hard it is for me to give up Meg.
You've got me anyhow. I know I'm not good for much, but I'll stand by you, Joe, all the days of my life. Upon my word, I will.
I know you will. You are always a great comfort to me, Teddy.
There now. Don't be dismal. There's a good fellow. Meg is happy. Brooke will get settled immediately, and it'll be jolly to see Meg in her own little house. We'll have capital times after she is gone, for I shall be through college before long, and then we'll be going abroad on some nice trip together. It'll be wonderful.
I rather think it will be. But there's no knowing what may happen in the future.
That is true. Don't you wish we could take a look forward and see where we will all be then? I do.
I think not. For I might see something sad, and everyone looks so happy now. I don't think they could be much improved.
We will now have a 10-minute intermission.
thank you. I shall drop it or smash it.
Then you shan't see your nephew.
Oh, all right. Only you must be responsible for damages. Two twins! By Jupiter!
I knew I'd be finally get a joke over on you. Go away to college and leave us for years, will you? Serves you right. If you come home and our married couple turns up with 2 children.
Are they boys? What are you going to name them? Let's have another look.
Boy and girl, aren't they amazing?
Little John and Meg. Now, if you don't mind, the happy couple can't stand to be away from their children for longer.
Leave some room for breathing, Teddy.
Joe, I haven't seen you for over a month, and you get more standoffish every time I do see you. I suppose you're tired of your boy.
I'd like my boy better if he'd get some sense. Here you are, almost through college, and teasing as if we were 15 years old. Go away, Teddy, I'm busy.
With what now? I know Amy took care of Aunt March from you. Are you that busy with your writing?
Well, I am. I sell almost a story a month to the local papers. And I'm still working on my novel, though I could use some new material, maybe travel somewhere.
You know, I still want to go abroad. When can we go dashing about? London and Paris, doing as we please, like we always planned.
When I become famous, as I always planned, otherwise there's no way I'll ever get there.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Joe, Lori, I have the most extraordinary news.
You're home early from Aunt March's, Amy. What is it?
Well, you know how Aunt March goes abroad every few years? Well, she's going next month. And she wants
Me to go with her?
Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry. But Aunt has asked me to go. I've been her companion these past few years. I'm so sorry. I wish you could have gone.
Thank you, Amy. I am happy for you, and I know it will help your art. And with Beth's feeling sick again, I should probably see if I can stay around a little longer.
Good old Joe. Come, let's go tell your mother, and I promise you'll get your chance someday.
Hey, hail the conquering graduate. I can't believe we'll live to say that. However did you do it?
Oh, you know, paid the professors, pleaded on benefit, and a bit of studying.
Oh yes, just a bit. Betty must have a good long holiday.
Yes, I intend to.
Oh, Teddy, please don't.
Joe, I've loved you ever since I've known you. Couldn't help it. You're not like anyone else in the world, and we're so perfectly suited for each other.
You mean so much like each other. We're both stubborn, with quick tempers. I can't imagine what we'd be like after 2 years, let alone the rest of our lives. We'd fight like cats and dogs.
Joe, if you love me, I shall be a perfect saint. You can make me anything you like.
I've never felt that way about you, Teddy.
I know you've acted like you've never cared, but we've always been best friends. I hoped you loved me, though I'm not half good enough.
I don't know why I can't love you the way you want me to, but I can't change the feeling.
Really? Truly, Joe?
Really, truly, dear.
It's someone else, isn't it? Some of those papers where you drop off your stories.
Don't be ridiculous, Teddy. I haven't the least idea of loving anyone.
But you will after a while, and then what about me?
You'll find someone else too, like a sensible boy, and forget all this trouble.
I can't love anyone else, and I'll never forget you, Joe, never!
Yes, you will. You'll find a lovely girl who will adore you. We would quarrel constantly. We can't even get through your proposal without fighting. I don't believe I shall ever marry.
I know better. You think so now, but there will come a time when you will love somebody, and love him tremendously, and live and die for him. I know you will, and I shall have to stand by and see it. You'll be sorry someday, Joe!
Oh, Joe, what's wrong? Oh, Beth, Marmy, Teddy asked me, he proposed to me. I was hoping I could cut him off, but it's no use.
What did you say to him?
No, of course. I love the dear boy, but he's like my brother. We'd tear each other to pieces in a day.
I'd have to agree with you, Joe. You're too much alike. I think you'd rebel, let alone try to spend the rest of your lives together.
Well, how did he take it?
Dreadfully, it was
can travel with Lori throughout the country, and maybe that'll help Lori feel better and give him some time and keep him out of trouble.
Well, that would be splendid for Teddy, but I was wondering about myself, Mother. Do you think I could try my wings and hop out of the nest a bit? Meg has a life of her own. Beth, you seem about as well as ever, and Amy's still abroad. I was thinking of taking up a position as a governess in New York. I'd really like to go somewhere and work on my writing. What do you think?
I remember you talked about that position, Joe, and your father and I discussed it, and we agreed if you wish to pursue it, you should do that. We've set aside some money so we can help you if you need it. I'd like to see you spread your wings and grow. Just remember, you always have a family at home that loves you very, very much.
As if I could ever forget it. Don't be gone too long, Joe. I'll be back before you know it, with my great novel written and shower of riches on you. Just wait and see. Dear Barbie, Father, and Beth, I'm going to write you a regular volume, for I've got heaps to tell. I'm sorry to hear Beth isn't feeling well. I was hoping these summer months would make her feel all better. I'm still working on my writing. The novel's going well. Still haven't written it all the way. But apart from my scribbling, I spend most of my time with my good friend, the one I'm sure you're all probably pretty tired of hearing about by now, Professor Bear. He's still teaching me German, and being from that lovely country, I'm sure he's continuously shocked to hear how horrid my pronunciation is. But it's a credit to his patience that he hasn't given up on me yet.
Oh, good evening, Miss March.
Hey, Miss Joe, thank you. Mama always lets us do whatever we like on Sunday, doesn't she, Mr. Bear? And I'm always the zookeeper, Mr. Bear's always there for me.
I give you my word it is so. If we make too large a noise, you shall say hush to us, and we shall go more softly.
Oh, not a bit of it, Mr. Bear.
You can join us if you want, Mr. Joe.
I don't suppose you'd like an eagle to go with your elephant?
Watch out, me little children. The eagle will carry you off where your everyone will never find you.
That's great.
Miss, no, Eagle and I want to be best friends.
Well, if that's what you want, I suppose it wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Indeed, no. I would gladly fly with this eagle, where Evelyn's made for flying. Now, you little ones should go on your way back to your mother and father, and not playing with your governess or her tutor anymore.
Oh, but the tide was just trying to escape and chase the elephant, and she said,
Well, methinks your mother and father are done with work. Yes. Come, ride your Evelyn's. We'll see if we can find them. Have we still a German lesson next, Fräulein Miss March?
Yes, and while we're at it, we can work on your sewing lesson. Your shirt is popping buttons again. I suppose you haven't much time to work on it with all your German students. And then if you will insist on teaching your friends as well.
I only repay the favor that you graciously give. I have not forgotten when you see me struggle with the needle and you scheme to sew on my buttons. You think to yourself, he will not see what I do. He will think his buttons grow out new when they fall. But no, I have eyes, and I see much, and I have a heart, and for this I feel thanks. Come, a little lesson done and out between friends is not so much to give.
I suppose so. I'll see you this evening then, after I finish my letter and my story. I should be able to send it off with the revisions they gave me. Then you can finally read some of my writing.
I would be happy to read whatever my friend writes. And I will buy Eagle for a short while only.
Goodbye, Mr. Bear.
Oh, children.
I'm glad you like what I tell you about Professor Bear, and I hope you'll meet him. Mother would admire his warm heart, father his wise head. I admire both, and feel very rich in my new French Friedrich Bear.
Oh, Lori, is it really you? I thought you'd never come. I feel like it's been ages since I've seen you last. When did you come? How was your grandfather?
London on business. I saw your letter last night and I thought I'd pop up since we're passing through France.
Oh, I have so many stories to tell. I simply don't know where to begin. I'm sure you have a lot to tell from your adventures. You were so quiet last time. I suppose you were ill.
No, I haven't been ill, thank you.
Oh. I haven't heard from you about your travels. Where have you been?
Oh, the usual. England, Italy, now France. Grandfather hates traveling, and I'm not finding it as interesting as I thought it would. It would be much better with a more interesting traveling companion. Getting around by yourself can get so exhausting.
I'm sure. Oh, don't trouble yourself on my account.
All right.
Have you been able to do all the work you wanted with your music?
Haven't had the time.
Indeed. I suppose your grandfather keeps you busy, introducing you to the business?
Grandfather felt I needed a holiday after finishing college. He looks after matters himself. And Brooke keeps an eye on things at home. I've been seeing the fellows from college a good deal. They know all the most fashionable places here. Some of the only places worth seeing.
Lori, what are you doing just now?
Watching lizards.
No, I mean, what do you intend and wish to do?
Smoke a cigarette, if you'll allow me.
I suppose learning to smoke has taken up a good deal of your free time, as you bored yourself traveling the world. I don't understand what's happened to you since you left to go abroad. Do you want to know what I honestly think of you?
Dying to be told.
Well, I despise you.
Why, if you please?
Because you have every chance for being good, useful, and happy. And instead you are lazy and miserable.
Pray, go on, it's quite interesting.
Thought you'd find it so? Selfish people always like to talk about themselves.
Am I selfish?
Yes, very selfish. I've been wanting to tell you my opinion since I first saw you here, and I may not get another chance. Here you have been abroad nearly 6 months, and done nothing but waste time and money, and disappoint your friends. I know you've forgotten about all of us who care about you. I wonder what Jill would say if she saw you now.
As usual. Go away, Teddy. I'm busy.
I know. Joe wrote to me about it all a long while back. It's been nearly a year since she refused you. Can't help wishing you'd bear it better, Teddy dear.
Don't. That's her name for me. I suppose it's lucky for her she didn't love me if I'm the good-for-nothing fellow you think of me. It's her fault, though, and you may tell her so.
If I were you, I'd at least try to be respected if I couldn't be loved.
Do you think Joe despises me as much as you?
Yes, she hates lazy people. If only you'd set about another task of some sort, you'd soon be your hearty, happy self again, and forget your trouble. You don't have to stop loving her, but you can't let this destroy your life. There, I won't lecture anymore, for I know you'll wake up and give me up, in spite of that hard-hearted girl.
Thank you for your advice, mademoiselle. Lazy Lawrence is duly chastised.
Shall we see you this evening, Wilfred?
Unfortunately, I have an engagement with grandfather in England. There's a boat this evening for every boy who doesn't wish to be despised by the best girls in the world. Au revoir.
Goodbye.
You should have seen Professor Barrett at that lecture hall, Father. There I was, topsy-turvy Joe again, surrounded by these big-headed philosophers who were picking the world to pieces and putting it back together without God, or rather with themselves as God. Well, Friedrich wasn't about to stand for that. He stood up in the middle of all those famous men and told them how ridiculous their idea of the world is, how nothing really matters if God isn't there. He told them about his relationship with the Creator, who loved him and gave him his intelligence. I'll tell you, he made the lecturers look and feel like the students. I can't help but be very proud of my friend. And I'm showing him my stories today. I'll be glad to use his opinion on them. The Lunatic Corpse by Joseph March. Well, it's not Shakespeare, but it gets the bills paid. I suppose he'll think it's amusing.
Good evening, my friend. Have you seen Kitty's doll? Her mother can't find it, and I set the whole household is searching. Or at least her favorite apple ones.
Yes, I think it's over here.
A lunatic corpse? A family story paper? Just there you go. These stories are not for young people to read. I have no patience with those who make this harm.
Really? I've read some of them. They're not good, of course, but they're not all bad, just silly. And if there's a demand for them, I don't see any fault in supplying it. Many very respectable people make an honest living with what are called sensational stories.
If the respectable people knew what harm they did, they would not think they're living honest. And the people who write these to look for thieves, murderers, and criminals, even though it is only an imagination, it is to live in bad company.
I suppose if I were the author, it would be pretty hard to explain those stories at home or to any of my good friends.
A good friend would understand the temptation and help you to find out the luck. Are you still talking your novel, Miss Munch? I would read it if you would like to show it to me.
Oh yes, I keep meaning to show it to you, but we always find something else to do. My German is improving though, and they'll be very impressed when I can speak to Father in German at home.
You're happy to have a home to go in. We will miss you much when you go home for the summer. Have you thought of returning next winter?
I have. I know I miss the children of Mrs. Kirk and all of my friends. I never thought I'd feel at home here, but I really have. Well, the winter's gone, and I've written no novels and made no fortune, but I've made a friend worth having, and I'll try to keep him all my life. You won't forget to come and visit if you ever come our way, will you? I'll never forgive you if you do, for I want them all to meet my friend.
Do you? Shall I come?
Of course, come whenever you like. I'd love to introduce you to Mother and Father, and my sisters, and Lori.
Lori, that is the best friend of whom you speak.
Yes, he was. I don't know what he is now, for he's been traveling abroad, and I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard from Mother and Father in a while either.
Oh, how stupid of me! I have this letter which I picked up for you while you were out with the children this morning. And I saved it for just such a time.
Oh good, it's Barbie's handwriting.
My friend, Monsieur?
Oh, Beth has taken a turn for the worse. I knew she was feeling poorly this spring, but Mother says I should come home.
I will send for your ticket without delay. Is there anything I can do but pray for your family and your dear sister?
No, thank you. Thank you for everything. I have to tell the children. I can't believe I'm going already.
They will miss you. What will the Ephelon do for the best friend now?
Oh, the eagle will still be there. I must dash, but I'll say goodbye before I go. Goodbye.
Bye. It is not for me. I must not hope it now.
Joe, you're back. I knew I had to wait till you got home, Joe.
Oh, Beth, I should have come home weeks ago. Months.
No. I wanted you to be able to go. But I'm glad you know it. I wanted to tell you for so long, but I couldn't. Even hoping I didn't like to tell anyone.
I don't give up yet. I'm not going to believe it, and not let you think so.
So, Joe, I can't express to anyone to to myself except to you. I only mean to say that I feel as if I was never meant to live long. I'm not like the rest of you. I had never imagined myself as anything. Stupid little Beth, trotting about at home, of no use to anyone but there. I'm not afraid. The hard part now is leaving you all. I'm afraid I shall be homesick for you even in heaven.
Beth, I used to think I couldn't give you up. But being away, it made me realize that I don't miss you. That you'll be more to me than ever, and the very best part of me, as you always have been. And death can't part us, though it seems to.
I really helped you that much. I don't feel as if I've wasted my life. It's a comfort to know that someone loves me and feels as if I've helped them. But I'll still be here. I'll still be here, Beth, to love you, to help you.
Of course, if you have to go now.
I feel as if I lose a little more each day. Like the tide going out. I do wish I could wait for Amy, but I knew I couldn't go without saying goodbye to my child.
Hi, Beth. I won't say goodbye.
No need. I know. I love you. I miss you.
See you soon.
I will see you again, but not in this world. Please don't regret a moment. You couldn't have made it home in time, and I wanted you to have your chance so badly. I love you with all my heart, and shall see you before too long. Your loving sister, Beth. Oh, Lori, I knew you'd come to me. How did you get away from London? From all that growing? I know you're so busy with the business already. And your music. All the pieces you sent me were so wonderful.
I had to come, Amy. Grandfather is breaking his heart over it, and I couldn't leave you here by yourself. I wish I could say something to comfort you in the loss of Beth, but I can only feel, and
You needn't say anything. Beth is well and happy, and I mustn't push her back. But I dread the going home, much as I long to see them all.
poor Amy. You look as if you've grieved yourself half sick. I'm going to take care of you. Lazy Lawrence is quite reformed thanks to my lady's commands. And Amy, it is like you said. I still care about Joe. I always will. But I was able to see exactly how. She was right. She's my sister. I can't even think about marrying her. We would kill each other within a week.
Some people just aren't suited for one another. You're so feisty, Lori. You need someone to gently prod you along, then encourage you to flare when you really need to.
Very true, my lady. If only I had someone around who knew how to manage me as well as you, I'd have a much easier time with it.
Now life can't be that easy, can it?
Can't it? Come now, Amy. Let's walk this way. If you will come with me. Will you?
Yes, Lori.
It really was the sweetest thing, Joe. John had both his twins on his lap. They fell fast asleep.
My dear, I do not think it was such a wise idea to let your mother take the children for their walk today. Judging by that look in her eyes, we may never see them again.
Well, then we'll have to lay siege to the house and kill their friends' children. Joe will help. It's lovely to have you over, Joe. I feel as if I
I tried to invite my friend over for dinner, and while Meg was trying to make 16 quarts of jelly.
I'd rather you didn't talk about that, dear. It's doomed to go down in history as one of our silliest quarrels. But really, it's not all about doom, jelly, and changing diapers. If John hadn't been there for me when Beth was ill, I don't know what I would have done.
We made it through together.
I wish you could have found someone in your travels, Joe. Wasn't there a handsome newspaper man you could have taken back with you? I found the newspaper man to be rather ungentlemanly. I didn't get anywhere with my writing until I dropped the newspapers. Now my novel is going very well, and I've had several publishers ask to take a look at it. But apart from the children of Mr. Bear, I'm afraid I didn't make many friends in New York. Well, you always have your family, Joe. We'll always be here for you.
And so will I.
Hey! Rory!
Joe, Meg, Brooke, are you glad to see me tonight?
Of course, after your last letter, I knew everything would be just like it always was between us.
Now, why are you back already?
Amy wanted to come home, so I brought her. Your mother has her in the park, and we stopped by on the way in. And there is no getting my wife out of their clutches.
You're what?
Oh, the dickens, now I've done it.
You've gone and got married.
Yes, please, but I never will again.
Get out, you ridiculous boy, and tell us all about it.
Well, I did it to please Amy.
No, Lori, haven't I taught you not to lie?
Amy did it to please you, of course.
It's all the same, you know. She and I became one. Grandfather wanted to come home. I couldn't let her stay at Aunt Marcia's alone. So I just settled the difficulty by saying, let's be married, and we can do as we like. It was 6 weeks ago in Paris. A very quiet wedding, of course, for even in our happiness, we didn't forget about Beth.
Why didn't you tell us?
We wanted to surprise you, and Amy did want to get married in Paris.
Oh dear, you'll go on as you began, and Amy will rule you all the days of your life.
I don't think I shall mind as much. She is the sort of woman who knows how to rule well. She's right behind you, isn't she?
Joe! Hey! Well, Amy, I can't believe you married. You're not my little Amy anymore. I hear you've been lecturing that boy. Don't stop, please. He needs it ever so much.
I see her mother fetching father from next door. Come, let's stop him before she tells him all of our stories. My lady?
My lord.
Professor Bear! I'm so glad to see you.
Glad to see you. But no, you have a party. I have seen them outside.
No, we haven't. Only family. My sister and friend have just returned from Europe. Do you remember Lori?
Yes.
He and my youngest sister have just been married. Bless the children. Come in and sit down.
If you wish it, it shall be so. You have been ill, my friend.
Not ill, just tired and sorrowful. We have had sadness since we last saw you.
My heart was sore when I heard of the passing of your bed. When business brought me to this city, I knew I would stop here no matter what else.
I'm so glad you did. For I'd love to introduce you to all my family. Will you be staying long?
As long as you wish it, Miss Joe.
Oh, another evening walk, Joe.
Oh, I do hope you'll keep an eye out for any wild creatures.
Yes, in the last few weeks we spotted a rather large bear who's been following your trail. I do always go for a walk toward evening, girls. I don't know why I should stop just because I happened to run into Friedrich, Mr. Bear, on his way out.
Well, this is, after all, your third walk this evening.
I needed some air. Besides, Professor Bear hasn't been to the house in a week. I suppose he's gone home as suddenly as he came. No, Joe, I'm sure he's just taking care of the business that brought him here. But really, if you're going to wait for him, dear, you ought to get an umbrella. It's starting to look like rain. I'll be fine.
And you?
I'm always glad to see you.
I thank you. And I come one more time before I go.
You're going then?
Yes, my business here is done. I no longer have any work here. My friends find for me work in a college where I teach. For this, I should be grateful, should I not?
Indeed you should. How splendid to have you doing what you like, and to be able to see you often.
I fear that we shall not meet often. This place is at the best.
So far away. You're going
Art, dearest, why do you cry?
because you're going away.
But that is so good. Joe, I have nothing to give but much love. I came to see if you could care for it. I waited to see if I was something more than a friend. Am I?
Oh yes, Friedrich.
Joe, the dear funny little name for such a person. My Joe, I have nothing to give but a full heart and these empty hands.
Not empty now. So we have this book, you may know it's called Little Women, and
my wife and I think I'm speaking for her too, we had a great time doing this and working with the youth of this church. I think everybody out there should be proud of this youth group, and I definitely had a great time with them. So.
And I just want to thank you so much.